Hello everybody and welcome to the Otakuthon 2017 con vlog. But obviously it's not a con vlog, this is a convention report. Unfortunately, I did not have time to do a vlog during the weekend for Otakuthon this year, but a lot of things did happen, so I feel like this year I should do at least a convention report for this convention. So there are a few different things that I want to discuss, not from like my experience just like with cosplay and that sort of thing, but about the convention itself. First, I want to mention the weather because last year the weather was insanely hot and humid at Otakuthon 2016. This year it was hot and humid for a good day and a half of the convention, but it did get cooler. It rained a bit, but luckily for me and Awa-chan and a few of my friends, we didn't get caught in it. So overall the weather was pretty decent and I can't complain too much. It was much better than last year. I also do want to talk about our hotel. We ended up staying at the Hyatt, which is about a 5-minute walk from the convention center, the Palais de Congrès in Montreal. Now, because of Montreal having a music festival going on, they had Oshiega, they had a bunch of different celebrations happening at the same time. The Hyatt ended up being quite expensive for us, but unfortunately that was our last choice for the time when we were booking. So now we know we won't really do the Hyatt again. They were very nice and very kind and the rooms were awesome, but it just did not work out for us as well as the Holiday Inn usually does. Alright, so I just wanted to get those two things out of the way. So I want to talk about the convention specifically, obviously. Now, for Otakuthon, pre-registration to line up to get your passes, if you've already paid, does start on Thursday. And this year, they ended up moving the registration line. Now, I'll try to be as clear as possible when I explain this. They ended up moving the registration line from the second floor, where they usually have like the dealer's room and some panels and that sort of thing, down to the first floor where there is pink coral and a lot of like the convenience stores and that sort of thing, which I don't really mind too much because it did relieve some congestion from upstairs, but I didn't really care for it being on the ground floor either. Now, obviously, overall, as cosplayers and as convention goers, we know not to block the way for people who are walking through that kind of thing, but because of where the registration line was downstairs, the area where people walk through to get in and out of the convention was limited, and because people do still stop to take photos, it was very difficult to get through there. It was just very congested down there as well, and there wasn't a lot of areas for us cosplayers to sit, to take a break, or to kind of go off to the side to get photos of big groups. So that was kind of a downside, but also a good side. Pre-registration was pretty insane, I will admit, so I do recommend for Otakuthon to maybe look into doing what Anime North has done, and that is to have a mail-out option. So if you pre-register and you've already paid for your passes, then you can get them mailed to you for an extra fee. I'm sure a lot of people will be really down for that because you don't have to wait like an hour and a half to 2 hours in line, depending when you go. So I do think that is something they should look into, and a lot of people will be on board for it. Another plus side though for moving pre-registration downstairs is that the dealer's room ended up getting a larger space to work with. And I did notice a difference with this. So when you're walking through the dealer's room in Artist Alley, it's definitely a lot less squished because they had that extra room space since pre-registration was not up there. And there was a lot more area to walk around, get off to the side, and there was a lot more artists and dealers that could go into that space as well. So you could definitely see that with the variety of artists that were there this year. I also want to mention that Otakuthon staff did an amazing job in terms of like checking passes and where they checked passes. So instead of checking passes every time you were to go into a panel or go into the dealer's room or up onto the top floors with more panels, they ended up checking at the entrances, if that makes sense. If you've been to the convention, you know what I'm talking about. And this way they ended up roping off areas too, so that people who are just passing by the convention center weren't just hanging around and being creepy, that kind of thing. You actually had to have a pass to get into the space, which again helped with congestion in terms of like getting people inside, and also helped with those kind of creepy people and tourists that just hung around the convention center. Continuing on with the dealer's room, going back to that, I was super happy to see that a lot of Artist Alley had acrylic charms. Oh my gosh! In comparison to Anime North, where not a lot of people had acrylic charms, maybe like 3 sellers and that's it. Almost every booth at Otakuthon had acrylic charms, and it was such a godsend because they were so beautiful. I saw so many amazing artworks, and overall, in general, the artists just brought their A game this year. There was incredible art, a lot of variety in terms of series, and I really hope a lot of them come back next year because their art was amazing, guys, and I hope you guys bought some. Alright, moving away from just the general convention, I do want to get into some more specifics on how Otakuthon can hopefully improve. And one of the biggest things is when I was running my panel, unfortunately, I could not show my PowerPoint presentation because they did not provide a MacBook connector to the projector. And I feel like this is a big fail on Otakuthon's part because G-Anime, which is a very small convention in comparison to Otakuthon, has MacBook connectors in each of their panel rooms. And Otakuthon did not. So I was a little sour about that. Yes, I can understand, but at the same time, you're making so much money that you can't have that little bit of leeway for how many people that have MacBooks. So that is something they should look into. I luckily had some amazing panel attendees that dealt with the technical difficulties, but I did not like it because my panel rested on photos and visuals to explain my examples. So I'm sorry, Otakuthon, but that's a thumbs down from me. If you did attend my panel, or if you didn't and you want to see the PowerPoint presentation, I did post a photo of my full outfit from the panel and a link to a Dropbox where I have the full PDF. You can go look at it, you can see the visuals, and you can see everything that I talked about in the panel itself. The last thing I am going to nitpick at for Otakuthon is the autographs/guests. From what I heard on Friday, I believe, a few of my friends were looking for the autographs/guests, and they asked staff, and the staff had no clue where it was. So that is very disorganized on Otakuthon's part. You would think they would know where it is. And then after an hour and a half, my friends did find it, and the autograph section was put in the far end/back area of a convention floor. And you would think that they wouldn't just hide away guests all the way at the back of a convention, considering a lot of people come for the guests. So I feel like that was a little rude or poorly misorganized on Otakuthon's part. But I know you can only do so much, but I feel like they could have done better for sure. The other thing I am a little disappointed in, and I should have known better, was Lucy's voice actress, who was there this year. I did not get to meet, unfortunately, because the line was capped off, actually. She, I guess, was running late from something else, and then she can only see a few amount of people, so again, I don't know if it was organization or if people just weren't doing their job or what, but I was disappointed about that, but I'm hoping that she comes back to other conventions in Canada and hopefully I can see her in the future. So overall, that's basically my critique on the convention itself and what Otakuthon can improve on, hopefully, and what they didn't do so good on and what they did do good on. And I'm going to move on to just my general thanks. Overall, I really want to thank Awa-chan for being basically my handler all weekend. She put up with me being super nervous and trying to deal with cosplay malfunctions and props breaking, and she just was there the whole time. She helped me with photographs and my photo shoots, so just Thank you, Awa-chan. Thank you for bringing me up to Otakuthon. Thank you for letting me stay in your hotel. I just really appreciate you. So thank you very much, friend. I also want to send a big congrats out to Annie and Allison from around where I live for winning at the Masquerade. They ended up winning 2 awards, I believe, in the Master Division. So I'm really happy for them. They were super nervous, but I didn't see their performance, but I'm sure they did a fantastic job. And congrats to some of the Ottawa fam for winning, I believe, some awards as well. I'm not 100% sure who it was, but congrats to you guys. Now, with all of that out of the way, I want to talk about my weekend in general from my perspective, because obviously you guys kind of want to know what I did, what happened, if you didn't see me. So basically, Awa-chan and I ended up getting to the convention, because I know what I'm going to say. We ended up getting to the convention on Thursday for pre-registration. My prop ended up breaking, so to speak. As some of you know, if you've seen my social media, I was con crunching to finish my Lucy Heartfilia armor design, original armor design, based off of her Sagittarius star dress form. Basically, I had a massive bow that ended up kind of falling apart. Tried to fix it, didn't really work out. And then there are a few other pieces that didn't work with the armor itself, and the wig did not stay on, unfortunately. Now, although it may seem really bad about what I'm saying, I'm actually kind of happy those things happen, because what I like about cosplay is that you continuously work to improve yourself, especially if you're crafting your cosplay. So this is my first crack at doing a ponytail wig. This was my first crack at making a large scale weapon as well as armor. So it obviously wasn't gonna go 100% well. I can't see that happening. But I can at least learn from my mistakes. I do plan to revamp Lucy and wear her to another convention in the future so that some of you can see her, and to just improve my skills in general. So I'm happy those things happened. I'm a little bummed that they did happen, but overall it was an awesome experience to wear her. I love Lucy, she's my bae, especially with Fairy Tail having recently ended. Luckily, you will be able to see some photos of her because I did get a photo shoot done, so please be on the lookout for that on my Instagram and Facebook. Those will be posted in the next few months, I am sure. On the cosplay side, I also ended up wearing Cheerleader Umi on the Sunday with Megwin cosplay as my Katori burb. She was also in Cheerleader Katori, and we did an amazing photo shoot with White Specs Photography. Finally got to work with him for the first time, which was awesome, but it was just a great experience. I loved being Love Live babes with somebody. It was awesome. And hopefully Annie, if you're watching this, you already know, we're going to get Annie to hopefully be our cheerleader Honoka so that we can have the 3 of us. Ah! And last but not least, my J Fashion panel. So I ended up running on the Saturday a Intro to Decora Fashion panel that I had already run at G-Anime. So I ended up running it. I was kind of nervous. I wasn't sure if a lot of people were going to show up, but amazingly enough, a lot of people, I want to say like more than 20, showed up to my panel, and that was really flattering to begin with. And overall, it went amazing considering the technical difficulties that I couldn't show the PDF. They were incredible, the attendees. They were so nice. They asked questions. They were interactive. They did seem pretty interested, and I hope that I could convey my passion for decor fashion and helped them get started into the fashion as well. After the panel, a lot of them came up to me. A lot of the attendees wanted business cards, so if you're watching or if you see this posted on my social media, thank you so much for coming. Thank you for talking to me afterwards, and I really, really hope that you took something positive away from my panel, so thank you. So that is all I have to say about Otakuthon 2017. That is my convention report. If you have any input on the convention itself, or if you saw me, or if you were at my panel, or anything like that, don't be afraid to leave them down in the comments below. If you have any questions about the convention or my cosplays or anything like that, don't be afraid to put them in the comments down below as well, and I will definitely look into answering them. Thank you all so much for watching. Don't be afraid to check out my other con reports and vlogs in the description below or around my channel. Don't forget to like this video if you enjoyed, and if you want to see more videos in the future, don't forget to subscribe. Click the button somewhere around here if you really like my personality. I will see you all in the next video. Bye guys!